Today we're going to talk about how to build and manage a banner in Revjet. Revjet is our banner building portal. All we do in Revjet is build banners. Those banners push over to Promote IQ, and that is where you are going to launch your campaign. Here's just a quick summary. Again, Revjet on-site banner building platform, and Promote IQ is where we're going to launch those banners from. In Revjet, we can create auction banners, sponsorship banners, as well as event banners, category landing page, and thank you page banners. So everything is created in Revjet. It's pretty easy to do, and we're going to do it right now. This is Revjet, our banner building platform, and this is what you will see when you log in. It is important to note that there is a one-to-one match between Revjet and Promote IQ. So if you do have multiple brands running out of Promote IQ, you will need multiple Revjet accounts. I can see which account that I'm in by hovering over the circle in the top right-hand corner. You can see that my account is the Home Depot Advertising. That's what it will always be. And my sub-account, and this is the sub-account that I chose for today, is just a test and learn account for our friends over at Bosch. So that is the easiest way to check your account. If you are in the wrong account, please go ahead and switch the account and log into the correct account. Every time you log into Revjet, this is what you will see. You'll see New Creative, which we're going to click on in just a second, and Open Creative. Open Creative is anything that you've made in the past. You always have access to it at any time. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and click on New Creative, and we're going to create a new creative today. Creative units will always be the Home Depot Advertising. It's the only option that you can select here. We've got two templates for you to select from. We've got our block banner with image from PIP and the vertical band banner with image from PIP. And I'm going to show you what those look like today. So this here is the block banner with image from PIP. It has a gray background, and our vertical band banner has a white background with an orange stripe on one side. And you can see that the image is pulling directly from the top image of our PIP page, product information page, to populate. Those are the only two differences between the banner. So for today's call, I'm going to go ahead and select our vertical band banner and then hit next in the bottom right-hand corner. Regardless of what template that you choose, this is what you will see on the screen. And this will always be the same. Regardless of template, the block banner will be exactly the same, and our event templates will also be exactly the same. So the very first thing I'm going to do is enter in an OMS ID. I'm going to enter in one that I chose earlier. Oops. 13373. There we go. And you can see that the product image is already populated, and that's directly from my PIP page as well as my brand. The next thing that I'm going to do is upload my logo. So I'm going to click on the three dots next to logo, hit Asset Cloud Explorer. And I've already uploaded my logo, but to upload a new logo, I'm going to click on New Asset from File, and then I can upload a logo from my desktop. So here's my Bosch logo. I'm going to select the role as logo, and I'm going to enter it into a folder, and I've already created a folder right here. There will be one created, and it should appear at the very top of your list too, or you can make a new folder by clicking Add New Folder. And I will go ahead and add that logo to my account. You'll only have to add your logo once. It will be here forever. So now I've uploaded my logo. I'm going to hit select. And now my logo is populating in my preview image and in the logo space. In terms of theme is what we call our headline. There are 12 standard themes for you to choose from. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again, and I'm going to show you those headline options. So the brand will be populated with your brand's name. So brand is here. Check out this, Bosch product. Check out these Bosch products. cutting-edge Bosch products, the latest innovations from Bosch. Get the Bosch Advantage, meet our latest Bosch edition. Get more done with Bosch, DIY with Bosch, do more with Bosch, take on projects confidently with Bosch, and get the results you want with Bosch. All of these are free and available for your use at any time. Popping back over here. So if I was to select a headline, I'm going to go ahead and select product launch, and the headline will update in the preview pane over here, as well as show in the headline down here. Calls to action are either shop now or learn more. Choose whichever one you like best. And then the URL is going to auto-populate to the PIP page, product information page of the OMS ID that you've selected or the product you've selected, but you can certainly overwrite this with a brand filtered PLP, product listing page, a collection page, or whatever page that you have available. The only limitation with URL right now is that it cannot be a search taxonomy. So you cannot search for your brand name and use that URL. You need to find it through the natural taxonomy of the site, a browse taxonomy. The last thing that I'm going to do before we preview today is change my to and from dates. You can actually have this banner start as early as today. We do ask for 2 to 3 business days for approver, but our approver is absolutely amazing, and she usually does approve things same day. And you can actually have this run to whenever you want. I generally run all of my banners through the end of the year, and that's because if your banner expires here in Revjet before your campaign expires in Promote IQ, your banner will turn off in Promote IQ, and I certainly do not want my banner to turn off in Promote IQ. I always want it available to me. If I am running an event banner, like if I was decided to participate in red, white, and blue, you can just select the dates of the event. So the next thing that I'm going to do is preview my banner. You can see there's a little magnifying glass in the top right-hand corner. I'm going to go ahead and click that, and I'm going to be able to see my banner. This is how the banner will look on desktop. If I go up to the top of the page, I can see Format Desktop, and I can see the other iterations of the banner. Browse PLP app. There's my desktop, my mobile web, and my PLP tablet. You can notice from this list that we have app homepage and tablet homepage. Those no longer run as part of our PLP sponsorship. So they are still in the system, but we no longer use them. It is important to note that there will be 6 banners that port over from Revjet into Promote IQ. And again, we no longer run on app homepage or tablet homepage, but my best recommendation would be just to go ahead and select all 6. I kind of lose my speed as I'm going through and trafficking campaigns when I have to remove 2 banners out of the 6. So I generally just go ahead and add all 6 banners, even though app homepage and tablet homepage no longer run. If you needed to share this banner with someone inside of your organization, you certainly can do that. Click on these 3 dots in the top right-hand corner. Go to share. I would change this from available for logged in users to available to anyone who has the link. And you can certainly send this link to anyone inside of your organization. Going back to the preview screen. Once I'm happy with all of my formats of my banner, I am ready to move on. So I'm going to go ahead and click that next button. Here you'll see that the creative name is currently set to Creative Set 1. That is a terrible name for a banner. This is the name that is going to port over from Revjet into Promote IQ, and this is the name that's going to show up in reporting. So if you have multiple banners running at the same time, which you certainly can do A/B testing, and we'll talk about that in just a second, you won't know which banner is which. You'll have to rely on the creative code that ports over with that banner name. So I would definitely name this, this is an oven banner, and we're running with the, I can't remember which headline I chose, but product launch headline. If I was running a test to see which converts better, a PIP page, product information page, or a brand filtered PLP, I might want to call that out as well. The next thing that I'm going to do is hit save down in the bottom right-hand corner. And now my banner has been saved in Revjet. So now it is saved in Revjet, but it has not yet been pushed over to Promote IQ. I have one more step to do. I've got to submit that banner for approval. So I'm going to hit submit for approval. And then I'm not in this account, but you would select your name from the followers list. You'll get an email notification when your banner has been approved or disapproved. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit that submit button if it wants to go. So now my banner has been submitted, or it's in the process of being submitted. So now that has gone over to our approver, so she's going to approve it. But let me go ahead and show you how to open this banner if I wanted to make any changes. I'm going to go ahead and click on the open folder in the top corner, hit open, and you're going to see a variety of different banners that I was prepping for in this call. So this is the one that we just created, the oven product launch PIP banner. So if I wanted to make any changes to that banner, I can certainly just hit that checkbox next to the banner and hit select in the bottom right-hand corner. So if I did want to make a change to my headline or my URL, I can certainly do that. So on this screen, I can, of course, change my run dates or my URL or my theme, whatever the case may be. Now, I did mention A/B testing, and I would definitely recommend that for you and your brand. To do that very easily, you can hit this duplicate button up at the top of your screen, and you're going to have an exact duplicate of that banner. You can see that this one says PIP2 now. So if I wanted to change this banner to, let's say, the Innovation 1 headline, or if I wanted to change this to a brand filtered PLP, I don't have to recreate the entire banner. I can certainly just make that adjustment here. So I'll go ahead and save all. And then, of course, I can rename this second banner by just clicking on those three dots, hitting details, and then I can rename this to, I think I named Innovation 1 as my headline, and saving. And then I do need to submit this banner again. So instead of going through that first process like we did just a second ago, there's a submit all button, and it's just taking a minute to load. There it is. So I can now hit this submit all button. And again, I would select my name from the drop-down list and hit that submit again. And again, that's going to go over to our approver. The last thing that I call out before we hop into Promote IQ and actually traffic this campaign, I'm going to click on this open button again. I'm going to talk about approval statuses, and this is something that comes up a lot. So here you can see the two banners that we just created on the call. I can see my status is pending and my serving status is submitted. I know that banner is now submitted in Promote IQ. That has gone out to our approver. We do have a real life human being that sits on our team looking at all the banners. She's making sure that you have a logo in the logo position, that your URL clicks through properly, things like that. That renders properly on all formats. Here you can see a couple other examples, and I named this one Disapprove Me, so she knew which one to disapprove today. So this is what a disapproval will look like. It says disapproved. You will get an email notification that the banner has been disapproved. She accidentally pushed these through for approval. So I did name one Approve Me, so she would go ahead and approve one that was ready for this call. But ideally, you're going to see your banner as synced. That's what we want to see here. And that means your banner is out and ready for Promote IQ.
Similar to PLA campaigns, you'll be coming to either the top left or top right hand new campaign buttons. If you have access to more than one vendor account, simply just select which vendor you're going to be running out of, and then you'll click banner placement. A couple things to note about banners. First, they are pay per view as opposed to pay per click. So they're billed on a CPM, which stands for cost per mil or cost per 1,000 impression model. So they are a little bit different in terms of pricing in that aspect, but we'll be sure to cover that soon. So once you have that set up, go ahead and click next, and you're brought to your campaign configuration screen. Once you click next, you're brought to the campaign build screen. And so the first portion of that is campaign configuration. This is where you're going to name your campaign, set up your budget, and determine when your campaign will be running. And so when you go through the different fields here, you'll see up at the very top is the vendor. You're always going to want to make sure that you're running the correct campaigns out of the correct accounts. The placement will default to Home Depot auction banner. Those are going to live at the top of those product listing pages, as well as down on the side in the skyscraper location. Below that is the free-form text field for the campaign name. Best practice here is very similar to PLAs. You want to make sure it includes enough information so that you get details without having to open up the campaign every time or when it downloads into a report, but not so much detail to where only one or two people could understand what this campaign is. Finally, the next field is your billing source. We have a few different options, but the most common are costs of goods sold, where you are billed via a reduction of your monthly statement with Home Depot, or incremental contracts, where you would simply input your contract number so that this way you know where the billing and payments are coming from. You would input that contract number right here, which is optional. So if you were to ever be switching contracts or need to change it or you got a number wrong, just know that you can go back and make edits to that if needed. Below that, you'll see the status bar. I would say 99% of the time you can leave this set to active. You can always have it set to paused, but a word of caution there is that you will need to go back into the platform to launch that campaign once you're done. Finally, down towards the bottom, we're getting into the budget of the campaign. And so there are a few different budget intervals here, daily, weekly, or monthly, which all automatically reset based on the time listed. So the day, the week, or the month. The final option is a lifetime budget, which does not reset. It has a specific start and specific end date, and that is the only time that campaign will run. I would say the best options for campaign performance are either those lifetime or monthly options. You want to give the system as much time as possible to optimize for that campaign and make sure that any changes that need to be made or any small sort of automatic or algorithmic changes can happen. If you have only a daily or weekly campaign, sometimes there just isn't enough time built up for the machine to really learn and optimize. So we're going to set up a lifetime campaign here, and you'll see that you get the options to choose your start and end date as well. So we're going to go ahead and just say we're going to run this through the end of the calendar year, starting September 1st. And then you would just simply input a budget amount, and you're all done from the budget perspective. Below that, you have the option to set up two different kinds of pacing controls within the platform. The first is dynamic, which is exactly like the definition says, designed to programmatically optimize the ideal spend of that campaign based on how much traffic is coming to the site and coming to your campaign. So really, really simple and a great way to capture any additional traffic day over day that might come through. The other pacing option is ASAP. This is, I would say, in only a couple of use cases to use this because it removes any sort of daily spend cap to your campaign. And so you might be unintentionally spending through all or a large majority of your budget before you're prepared to by having ASAP turned on. So I would always recommend double checking to make sure that you have the correct pacing method set. And then finally, the last field here is your bid amount. You'll see here in the fine print that a minimum bid of $20 to $40 is required depending on the category. Very similar to PLA, where we'll always optimize down to the nearest penny for you. Banners work the same way, so there's no harm in coming in here and setting your CPM bid to something over $40. So even starting at $45 is perfectly okay. And then in the reporting, if you ever see it below that, that just means that you're running a more efficient campaign and you don't need to touch your bids. Once you would input all of these fields, you could just go ahead and click next, and you're on to the content portion of your banner campaign creation process.
Hi, everyone.
Thanks again for joining for the next video in the Promote IQ Help Desk series. We just went over the configuration of a banner campaign, and so now we've moved on into the content. In this step, before you can actually have this populate in Promote IQ, you will have need to have built it out in an external portal called Revjet, Revjet. If you've recently submitted an account setup form, then you should have gotten access to that as well. If not, it's no problem. Just let us know and we can make sure that you have access to it. So the way that process works is that you'll be building the creative in that Revjet portal. It gets approved and then uploaded directly into Promote IQ, and it lives in that creatives tab, which we covered in an earlier video. And then you'll see it as an option to select in this banner campaign build. So you'll see your few different options for creative here. So just make sure that you check all of the ones that make sense. You'll see that they're broken out by the different ad formats by device. So there's desktop, mobile app, mobile web, and mobile tablet. What's also nice is that you'll see that Revjet portal has resized all of these for you. So you don't have to worry too much about dimensions and, pixel sizes, things like that. That will automatically happen for you. And then another thing to note here is the status of your creative. Make sure that it is in fact available. It can also be in flight, meaning you're already using that, or it can be expired, which means that you're not able to run that banner campaign with that creative. Start dates and expirations tie back to whatever you had input in that Revjet portal. So just be conscious of that, because if the dates of that banner creative don't match the dates of the campaign that you're using it in, then it would just come back with an error message. So just double check your dates and you should be fine. Finally, from here, you'll also see a quick mock-up of each of these. You'll see what you need is your logo, the headline, and then a product image. And again, all of this is built in that Revjet portal ahead of time. Once you have all of the necessary versions of the creative selected, you're all set because you've already set up your bid in the configuration step. Scroll down and click next, and then you're on to your targeting. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining the next video in the Promote IQ Help Desk series. Here we're going to be wrapping up overviewing the targeting of a banner campaign as well as launching and saving that campaign. So if you'll remember, we had just talked about building that creative in that Revjet portal. Another instance where it comes into play is here with the targeting. So targeting of the banner campaign works pretty similarly to the targeting of a sponsored products campaign, in that you're going to be choosing the categories that you want to populate in on site, and the categories you're eligible for depend on the product you had selected to put in that banner. So we had selected something that's in the cycling gear category, and so that's the taxonomy readout that we have access to for this campaign. You'll notice that we don't have option to populate on the home page, as that's not available for the auction banners in the platform. So this part is actually fairly straightforward. All you'll need to do is save if you want to come back and finish this campaign build later, or you can go ahead and click launch and you'll be live on site in about 60 minutes.